your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday, work it out Wednesday, pay it forward Friday, we'll season the day. Digital finance, harmony of love, serving food to what those two, rising as a read and it's Eastern on P2G TV. Breakfast with the Thomases, come eat with me.
Hey!
Grand Rising, what's going on, everybody?
Grand Rising Lovies, how you doing?
All right. Good to see you, Miss Thomas.
Hello, and good to see you too, Mr. Thomas. Mwah. Breakfast with the Thomases. And yes, this is, so go get your cup and go get your pancakes or whatever else you eat for breakfast. I don't care if it's fruit, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get started, boo-boo.
Yum, yum.
Yes. So off the top, we have a couple of shout outs today. It is Mental Wellness Monday. I know it says Work It Out Wednesday. For those who are saying Work It Out Wednesday, we'll fix that. Okay. Because our Work It Out Wednesday is going to be faboo. Okay. And I'll tell you all that. I'll tell you about it later. We'll get to who our Wednesday guest will be later. But for right now, we got to give the birthday shout outs. I told you I'm celebrating the fact that Chris is all month. My birthday this month is on.
All month she been going at it. Shoot, the phone has been hopping.
Let me real quick. That's why I want to do this fast. Okay, so we had 2 birthdays yesterday. It was my auntie, my great aunt, who happens to be exactly 20 years older than me. So when I was born, she was 20. And I'm really excited because we always kind of mix our birthdays. We celebrate that 20 gap. And I love it because she's now beautiful 72. So y'all know that makes me a beautiful, gorgeous, y'all see this? You know what I'm talking about. A beautiful, gorgeous 52. Yes, baby. That's what melanin do for you. That's what I'm saying. Y'all see what I'm saying? Melanin do that for you. And she
does that.
Amazing at this a beautiful age. So health and wealth are everything. And we always tell you all, it doesn't matter. It's what's the point in being the prettiest, well, I should say, what's the point in being the wealthiest corpse in the graveyard? Thank you, Cornell. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Y'all, Cornell Green. There ain't no point in being the wealthiest corpse in the graveyard. So don't get it twisted. Get it together, okay?
Get it.
That's why today is Mental Wellness Monday. And I got to shout out, I am a fur auntie. For those who are fur mommies and fur daddies and fur aunties and uncles and grandparents, it's the people who love animals, and animals are being loved and cared for by them. I have no I don't have fur animals. We've been raising turtles for almost as long as we've been raising our children, and they're adults. Yeah. You know, my kids are almost into 30. And
we're gonna take a picture of the turtles and put them up.
We've had them since they were this big. So being a caregiver for animals, we opted in to take on the responsibility of their care. And all I have to say is I have to give much respect and love to all of the animal caregivers who are aware and responsible for the fact that you've taken on the well-being of an animal that is normally supposed to be in their live habitat. When you domesticate an animal in your home, in your personal life, you take on the life responsibility of caring for another living being. That's a life. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to all of you and happy birthday to my Roxy Blocks. I wish I could show you. She had the cute little tutu and the whole nine. My sister goes crazy for her birthday. And just to give y'all a bit of a little bit more reality to it, for someone who's I don't have furry animals. I don't have 4-legged animals. We grew up with cats. My sister took on a dog for the first time in her life. It was beautiful. It had a little pup. But I did not know that dogs age so rapidly. And it is truly serious when you take on a dog that you realize you've taken on a being that has a short lifespan. And with that and that knowledge alone should make it more serious a responsibility for you. So for those who are out there and you don't have animals, y'all wonder why people treat those who don't have animals and wonder why people treat their animals the way they do. I want you to imagine having a relative you knew ran out of time before you did. I want you to think about that. How many of us would have children if our children died after a certain period of time that was much shorter than our own? So I want you to think about what these people have taken on and give them a little bit of grace. Okay? Give them a little bit of grace. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why I connect with Miss Shelby so often, and the Golden Empress, because she does this. This is her heart. This is what she puts out in life.
That is who she is.
She didn't even have, I'm trying to get her to put this into a business so she can get some funding, but I'm just saying, because I'm help, and she does this out of her own pocket, out of the goodness of her own heart. And if you see anybody who is running, and I mean seriously, know who they are, support them. You know what I'm saying? However you can. You can pick up a can of dog food or whatever, a container of dog food. Go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Give it to them, because they are doing this, and it's a huge responsibility. But they're taking care of the well-being of animals on their own. You know what I'm saying? These bills they're no joke. And the dogs and these dogs and cats and animals are very susceptible to our bad habits. So think about that. Love your neighbor. And I ask those neighbors to please take good care of your animals and clean up after them. And that's for my neighbors. Clean up after them. Your neighborhood, your neighbors do not need to be exposed to the discrimination.
Cleanup. We don't need to be exposed to the cleanup.
Of your dog. You want to think of your community along with your animal. Now, on another note, I love my Roxy Locks. She's amazing. She got her. I didn't know you could paint a dog's nails. Now that's deep. But she had them painted pink with her tutu. And my sister just goes all out. She had cake. She had a big old cookie, and even some ice cream.
Yes.
Like the people, they have it for the dogs. It's safe for their bodies. But I'm just really excited to see that family extends to so much more. And I need our people out here who are listening, all of our listeners, to know that's what family is in our community, in our house, in our neighborhood. Family is not just the ones you're born to. It's the ones you grew up with, that you're growing up with. So keep connecting, because that group is huge and waiting for you. Now, that's all the shout outs for right now.
Yeah, right now.
Okay, I'm going to put on our video. We got some good news. One of the points of Monday, I keep thinking I'm reading. Okay, so get it back to us. It's Monday. Today is Monday, and we are live. So if you have any questions or comments or what have you, put them in there. We let folks know I do not censor your way you think, but I do have to make sure I keep this a respectable platform.
Yes,
so we don't accept disruption. Okay, we don't accept disruption. We accept a difference of opinion. Now that's so respectful, because that's how we do respect for respect. Y'all get that, right? Actually, I don't do respect for respect. I respect at all points. That's one of my things. Mr. Thomas, what about you?
Look, you said nothing more than we've said from the beginning. Make sure you introduce yourself, say who you are, and then let us know, include where you're at, so we know what's going on where you're at. All right?
Exactly. Come on now. Somebody got to know where you at and who you are. We also want to, had to say one more time, we got to give love to Black Casper out there. Enjoy your Aquarius time as well. And myself, I'm telling y'all, my birthday is next Monday, and we will rock out. Don't worry, because it's going to be a total party.
It's going to be a party.
Oh, yes, a mental wellness party up in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Now, in the meantime, we want to talk about today what's going on in the background of the finances. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not a scare you to death show.
No, it is not scary.
It's not about scaring you. It's about making you aware and us coming together as a community for solutions. The only way we as a community are going to get ahead is if we become aware. People think, oh, I don't want to be woke. No, awake.
That's a whole different term.
Awake, aware, and in action on a plan. So we're inviting you guys into the space. This is just the beginning conversation. We invite you all to come into our platform anytime. We have free forums every Wednesday for you all to hop on, check it out, see what's going on. You're coming in today anyway, you're coming and hanging out. And we have our financial literacy program where we're working together and teaching each other how this digital financial literacy works. Because things have changed, y'all. And let's talk about it.
Oh man, have things changed.
Things have changed and we got to stay ahead. So if you're ready to go, let's have this conversation, y'all.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Let's make sure. All right, here we go. Mr. Thomas, you want to say something before we get started?
No, just grab a pen and paper, make it happen.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me just make sure we get this in the right way.
Just got smacked. If you've been watching the precious metals markets this past week, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Prices surging to record highs, only to come crashing down.
Despite reaching a record high earlier this week, the price of gold is now falling.
After falling to an historic low on Friday, gold dropped 10%, silver had a 30% collapse in price.
And the two questions on everyone's mind is why and what comes next.
Right.
But today, we are going to answer both of those questions and have a very serious conversation because the mainstream media narrative that they're pushing is misleading at best. They'd have us believe it all has to do with a Fed nomination announcement, normal volatility, or maybe even some profit taking. But if you ask me, if we zoom out and look at what really happened, we have massive forced liquidations, margin calls, bank meddling, and a credit crisis that is rippling through the system. But don't worry, we are going to connect all of those dots because one thing is sure, none of this was random. And stick with me until the very end because this is not just about prices. This is about protecting your wealth in a system that does not have your best interests at heart. Let's start with the facts. Both gold and silver have been on a euphoric run. Gold reaching record all-time highs before reversing this past week. Silver going nearly parabolic and then collapsing. And one of the most aggressive single-week reversals. So what caused the meltdown? The mainstream media narrative points to President Trump's nomination of Kevin Warsh as the next Fed chair. Because Warsh is seen as tough on inflation, less likely to cut rates, the dollar strengthened. That's their story, and they're sticking to it.
This isn't the first time you've heard me in the last decade say we need regime change at the Fed. It's not just about a person. It's about an approach to economics. It's about approach to what they're doing.
But here's where it gets real, starting with mass liquidations. We're talking about margin calls. For those of you who aren't familiar, it works like this. You borrow funds to invest. Once you invest those funds into an asset, you have to keep a minimum requirement. But let's say that the market and asset prices turn against you and suddenly your position shrinks. Well, now you get margin called, meaning that you are below the minimum requirement needed of funds. So you have to either A, come up with cash real quick, or B, reduce your position. Now, either way, you have to act fast. And if you don't, well, your assets are sold. You don't even have a choice. It's a forced liquidation. When this forced selling happens, it pushes the asset price lower. As the asset price drops lower, well, guess what? More and more margin calls are triggered as more and more positions fall below the minimum required position. This triggers a cascade of massive selling.
Fuck me. Once this thing gets going in the wrong direction, this is fucking huge.
Oh, huge.
So with that information in mind, let's take a step back and look at what happened on January 30th, right when everything started to go south. The CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, where precious metals futures are traded, you might have heard of them before back in November. They were the ones whose data center had a cooling issue, right when silver was reaching all new time highs. But anyway, I digress. So the CME, they decided that they're going to raise their margin requirements on January 30th. Raising the margin requirements means you have to keep more cash in your account. But they targeted gold and silver specifically. Gold requirements went from 6 to 8%, and silver requirements went from 11 to 15%. Now, you might be sitting out there saying, well, 2 or 4%, that doesn't sound like a whole lot. How could that have triggered this huge wave of liquidations? And I'll tell you, many of these investors are trading with massive leverage. We're talking 10 to 1, 20 to 1. So although a couple percentage points might not sound like a lot, it in turn is massive, massive amounts of cash capital that these investors had to come up with to avoid having their position sold from right out under them. So these hedge funds, these large investors start selling everything, gold, silver, Bitcoin, right? We're seeing red all across the board. Everyone's scrambling to come up with cash for their various positions, which is why you start to see a mass sell-off trigger across the board. By margin calling, essentially, we witnessed a cascading of liquidations. It was a rug pull on all of these investors, but here's where the story gets even more interesting. The elephant in the room, big bank manipulation. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not an insider. I wish I had more information than the public, but I don't. All I can do are connect the same dots that we all have access to. And I'm not out here saying that every massive price drop is rigged or price manipulation. You could argue the same for price rises, right? But I will say that when you look and the premiums on physical remain elevated during these violent sell-offs, well, it raises some valid questions. So this is where I struggle. It gets weird for me because the CME, they didn't just raise these margin requirements the one time. No, they raised them 4 times in 6 weeks. Gold and silver specifically, right as they're hitting new all-time highs, right as we're having a big discrepancy between paper and physical, right? Physical getting crushed, the supply just not there to meet the demand. And right as these banks, could be sitting on these massive short positions that might blow up in their faces. Again, can't prove anything, but history has shown us that market manipulation is not just a theory, right? It is a fact. It happens. In fact, major banks such as JP Morgan, UBS, Barclays, a bunch of them, right? They're paying over $1 billion in fines for precious metals market manipulation. So is it a coincidence? Maybe, but here's where it gets even weirder. Because there is a real physical crisis building. Inventories have been getting drained. The demand, the strain on these markets that were built purely for paper. These markets were never built for all of these institutional level players to take physical delivery, but that's what they're doing because no one anymore trusts paper. They want the real deal. So if you were a bank and you knew there wasn't enough physical, right, and you were going to get exposed, well, what might you do? Would you call your friends at the CME and say, hey, let's raise those margin requirements because you knew it would trigger a cascade of sell-off? Well, maybe. Again, not proven. You tell me what you think in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Do you think there's something bigger and more insidious here at play, or do you think it's just business as usual? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I know many out there are saying, maybe this was just a way to shake out the week before the next leg up because we know prices are going to go back up, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, we haven't even gotten to the credit crisis that is also brewing, lurking in the financial shadows as we speak. And what does credit have to do with gold and silver and a vicious price sell-off? Well, everything. You have to ask yourself, why were all of these investors so over leveraged? Why was it so difficult for them to come up with the cash when the margin calls happen? Yes, we've seen this happen before, but particularly right now. This is where the private credit crisis comes into play. Over the last couple of years, we have been in a private credit bubble. And in fact, we have no idea just how big and just how bad it is because private credit, unlike other areas of the financial sector, are very opaque. There's not a lot of transparency. So we don't even actually know just how big this is. You might remember just a couple months ago, Tricolor Holdings, a subprime auto lender, filed bankruptcy. Out of nowhere, everyone thought it was perfectly fine. And then boom, total collapse. It was a shock to everyone, and it made us all pause and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Because you know the saying, right? If there's one cockroach, if you see one cockroach, there are always more. So is Tricolor just the first of many dominoes to fall? Because then we had Primalend, First Brands, right? We've started to see this ripple effect. And not only that, we've seen what they're up to, taking subprime auto loans, these asset-backed securities instead of mortgage-backed securities. They're just asset-backed that potentially are complete garbage. In fact, not even potentially. These ones in particular have been proven to be complete garbage. We know subprime auto borrowers are at a delinquency rate of record levels. So now you have all of these asset-backed securities that are getting bundled up and packaged as something new. They're being put in pensions. They're being put in insurance. They're being put everywhere. And if the lenders are collapsing, well, what do you think that means for everyone else who's holding this garbage? If it sounds like 2008 all over again, that's because it basically is. Except this time around, they're even sneakier. They're doing all kinds of financial tricks. Just last week, it came out that private credit is now selling a record amount of debt to themselves, right? Transferring debt from over here to over here, making it look like its book value is up here, when in reality, we can only assume that it's actually worth nothing, and it's only a matter of time before all of this blows up and the losses become realized. Which brings us to BlackRock. We just saw their TCP Capital Fund have a net asset value loss of 19% in Q4 of 2025. We're talking about huge amounts of capital here. These are big losses that should not be happening in such a short period of time. BlackRock, of course, manages trillions. We're talking about real estate to businesses to everything, you name it. We already know BlackRock owns everything, right? So if we have their capital fund taking these massive losses, we can only begin to imagine just how deep this private credit crisis runs. But this impacts all of us, make no mistake, because private credit, they're tied to our banks, right? We are looking at another 2008 style derivative crisis. And now we have no idea just how bad it is because it's all in private credit where it's all hidden. It's opaque. They're not under the same regulations. So really, we can only guess how bad it is. But if these all start falling, again, the dominoes are just beginning, we can only imagine that we'll see more bank failures this year, right? And at a certain point, we know that the Fed, they'll step in, but what happens when they can no longer step in? That's when we'll see bank bailouts. I'm not trying to go too off track here, but this is a very serious crisis. In fact, I talked about private credit, derivatives, and bank bail-ins as a separate video a couple of months ago. I've been warning about this. I'll make sure to put the link in the description below if you want to check it out. But back to why we're seeing a sea of red. This is not about Kevin Warsh. I mean, sure, maybe he plays a small part, but he wasn't the fuse, right? There are much bigger things going on. Biggest being the liquidity crisis that we are living through. For 15 years, we had near zero rates. We had an influx of liquidity, right? And because of that, we now have all these massively leveraged players. We have massive unrealized losses, right? We have a bunch of garbage that's being packaged up like something it's not. And at the end of the day, everyone is stuck in their position because if they sell, they're going to expose the fact that they actually have massive losses. That's why there's no liquidity. That's why I keep talking about a liquidity crisis. But eventually the pyramid scheme runs out of money. Eventually confidence collapses and the entire thing is exposed for the house of cards that it really is. The irony is that gold and silver are going to be the only things, physical gold and silver, that really protect you from what's coming next. Too many people out there I'm talking to are so worried about what is going on today with the prices and not zooming out and realizing that this is the exact moment that you want to be holding your gold and silver, that you need to make sure you have plenty of gold and silver physical in your hands, in your possession, that you own, that you control, because this is exactly why you have it. And if you don't have it yet, now is the time to get it. Because when the crisis really hits, when this liquidity seizes up the whole system and there's nothing left to do besides the Fed letting it burn or print another 10 trillion, that's when we're going to see gold absolutely rip higher. We've seen it time and time again throughout history in all currency resets, going to 10, 20, 50, 100, you name it. I mean, we've seen gold go up parabolic before, right? We're not there yet, but the signs are there. The signals are there. The flashing red warning signs are letting us know where we are going next. So people keep asking me, okay, what's going on with the prices? This is what just happened. And yes, prices, they're going to go up, they're going to go down, but long-term trend, what's going to happen? Gold and silver are going to go up, right? That is what we have seen time and time again, because yes, paper markets can be manipulated, but what's real are the central bank buying. What's real is the finite amount. What's real is the global move away from the dollar, the devaluation of your dollars each and every single day. But you cannot manipulate physical. Physical gold and silver are physical gold and silver. An ounce is an ounce is an ounce. And that is what you want to be focused on, is making sure you have a strategy that has physical gold and silver in it. Because remember, they're not crashing the price because physical gold and silver are worthless. They're doing it because it is a threat, right? These prices are a threat to the dollar system they have today. And that's why it's even more important now than ever to make sure that you hold. And if you don't have any, you get your strategy in place specifically for what's coming next. I always say you cannot prepare for tomorrow if you don't understand what's happening today. We are living through a once in a lifetime monetary reset, right? I keep saying it, but again, I know sometimes it takes a while because these are concepts they don't teach in school for it to really click. So if you do not have a strategy or you want a second opinion on how to prepare, we at ITM Trading, we are a full service gold and silver dealer. We sell physical gold and silver, but most importantly, we work with our clients just like you to make sure you have a custom strategy that makes sense for your goals, your concerns, and for what is coming next. So if you have not already, call us at the number below. Scan.
Okay. So you guys got the scanner in here, and I'm letting you guys all know. Get in touch with people who have information about what's going on. We are not here to pump and promote or to shill any damn thing. If you don't have the financial literacy and the education around your finances, you're going to work till you die, and they're going to kill you to do it. They're going to starve you, and they're going to kill you because you're just going to go out there and keep banging your head on the same rock, not understanding that the game has always been rigged when it comes to the dollar. Every dollar, every sort of dollar. And that's not Miss Ruby trying to play conspiracy theorist. That's just how it works, family.
First of all, it's kind of hard to claim conspiracy when the first thing toward the end of this video, they said BlackRock and the liquidity fund lost 19% in the fourth quarter. Now let me say this you can't. Everyone, whether you trade stocks or assets, has heard the name BlackRock around. They lost 19% in their shares in the last quarter. So that is November, December, and January. And they're just saying it. Now I want you to put that in layman's terms so we understand what that means. BlackRock controls many of the 401ks, 529s, money market funds.
In other words, your money.
Where is your money at?
In other words, they control your money.
And the other thing that really should have rang a bell for you guys is when they say private creditors are putting their money into your retirement account, and they're buying back stuff.
Wait, stop, because now I get that you got to understand that you just sent people reeling into understanding that. You just changed what she just explained. What they're saying is they're putting poorly backed. So get this. I want you to imagine that bad debt is on the books.
Yes.
Those money, Alvin, you want to just let me finish?
Go ahead.
Bad debt is on the books, and it's out there. It's available to be put in your portfolio. Y'all this is Mr. Thomas is explaining. They're now shoving those bad debts that are being bought back, knowing that they're going to implode in your portfolio that's providing new cash. So while they put it in there, they pull out your cash. It's called a rug pull.
Yes.
In your retirement packages. This is where, they needed to figure out where to go get money, and your retirement packages all have brand new fresh money coming in from your regular paychecks. Do you understand yet why we keep telling you, and I want to say thank you. Well, I got to give it to Alexa, who made me really break down what teaching you all pay yourself first really means.
Okay, go ahead.
Fine. And it's weird because I started working with programming this thing, and what I'm getting back is beautiful because it's the truth. It broke down exactly what I've been meaning. When we teach you all to pay yourself first, what we're teaching you to do is to actually solidify investment funds, real investment funds you control, and forcing your life to form around the rest. Because that's what they do with your taxes.
All the time.
take your money first and force you to live off what's left, but you won't take a portion for your actual future guarantee and then work the rest around it. That's what savings does. When you pay yourself first, you actually shift yourself into what's called the millionaire, billionaire wealth mindset. You know what happens when you try to run against your bills, when you run against your bills to try to save? Guess what happens? You lose the race every month, every week, every time you get paid. You've lost the race every time. And please, anybody who got another story for me, let me know. Oh, it's built into my budget until something come up. Until that savings gets put into another box that's sitting in a bank with those same investments behind them. Y'all keep in mind, all the same thing. See, but in this case, you have absolutely nothing tangible to hold on to if those institutions and when those institutions implode. Because they do and they will. And what has happened is even more so, you all haven't been paying attention to the rules changing around them imploding. We've been telling you they've been setting things up to get out of the debt they're creating. Not get you out of it, but to utilize you to get out of the debt that they've been playing and creating, so that in the end, they get to keep all the money in the money that you've been putting inside. You know, those regular faithful payments y'all make, they call it direct deposit. Mm-hmm. You direct deposit to all my working people. Y'all direct deposit to your bank, your savings account. You direct deposit to your checking account. Guess what? Those are bank assets.
Yes, they are.
Know why they're bank assets? They're not an asset to you. They ain't growing no money. They're a bank asset because the bank sees them as creditable. They are actually foundations for banks to create credit. And credit. What is credit? Credit is a money system. I love it. It's an opportunity for somebody to be able to make interest.
Absolutely.
Ain't that great? True. Remember, we let's go down the how the bank works. You put the bank in the money. Y'all remember? Put the money in your bank account. Your bank account then gets transferred over to the custody of the bank. I know it seems nasty, don't it? But it's truth.
Very nasty.
But the bank, that means the bank can do what they want with the money. So now they add it to the millions. They add your little couple $1,000 every 2 weeks, a week, or whatever to the bank. Then 1,000 to 10,000 to this, that, and the other. And then they go turn it around to Farmer John, who needs a loan, or the local, what do you call it? The local banker who needs a loan, or someone who needs a house. And they charge them 29% on every dollar, while they give you 0.01% on holding your money.
If that much.
Wait. No, you haven't even touched how they turn that debt into promissory notes and go borrow money, get money. They sell the debt again. Mm-hmm. But see, that's a road you haven't traveled. See, you haven't traveled the road of your money after you put it in the bank, but you faithfully went down there and said, could you hold on to this so I could maybe make some purchases at the bank? If you say, will you back me? Do you need that with cash? I just got to ask a question. Do you need it with cash? You need somebody to back you up with cash? No, you don't. But see, that's where they need that to stop. That's where the digital world is about to take place. And they need you not to be holding anything that's transferable or tradable outside of them.
Yep.
That's what we call custodied assets. Crypto custody, not custodied, custody, if you know how to do it right. Because some of y'all, and I should say most of y'all, everybody out here, I got this account, I got that account, and this, that. Guess what? You ain't got nothing. You are still renting an account where someone else has custody because you don't know better.
And they're not going to tell you that you don't have access to your fund unless you give them permission, unless they give you permission, because it's not in their best interest for you to know.
That's what your password.
And many times you get into these online accounts that you hear from other people that I'm doing great. Mm-hmm. They're only doing great because they follow the information of somebody else, but they may not have all the information. And you're not looking to find out the information for yourself. You just want to know that you have someplace that you think is a safe haven
Right.
You don't have to be responsible for it and hold it yourself.
Let's
The only
keep
thing that makes sense nowadays, and not to say what you're doing is wrong, is custody is the word of the day. When banks are telling you that they're looking to transfer their stuff back into gold and silver, and they're getting as much as they can, which has been in the news for the longest, maybe you should listen to some of them.
Mr. Thomas.
Maybe you listen to what's being said.
Well,
because
that's the thing. Do you understand what that means? You see what I'm saying? And Mr. Thomas, their thing is this. What she said was they're now being required to hold physical assets, not more cash.
No.
The banks are being required to add physical assets. That means it's so funny now. Before they didn't have to do that, but they were buying big assets. They just weren't marking. They weren't putting them on the books. We saw huge buy-ins from huge banks that we all thought they were going on the books. We thought that was back in our bank.
Yeah, that was called unallocated funds.
Thank you.
Unallocated assets. Excuse me. Let me call it what
unallocated assets. Now I'm going to make sure you really understand this. Let's go. See, this is why we on today. This is why this is Mental Wellness Monday, because you've got to start taking truth as healing.
And one of the things.
You want it?
Apologies. Go ahead.
Okay. The problem with most people is you don't know. You have your head in the sand and you hoping things go well. And that's not going to make it better. That is not going to hold the day, let alone last a future. We've got to start taking this serious as a community. People, when we talk to each other, and this see that's this thing down here called P2G networks.com. That's a community of people come together to have real conversations that make real changes. We got real classes and programs that help real people change how the flow of finances roll in their home. Because most of y'all don't realize none of the stuff you so-called own is owned by you. And I want to make sure we make this real clear. That has been this whole process and concept is worldwide. You too, boo-boo. I don't care what continent you're on. There are just some who realize that that's the case, and you can recognize that that's what's going on. What do you do about it is the question. That's what we talk about, and we work out, and we have worked out. I don't wake up in the morning worrying if my bank gonna implode today. All I know is what's my assets worth. My assets, the ones that I hold, the ones that I custody, where I put my stuff at, because I've learned about crypto, real crypto. I learned about blockchain, real blockchain. No one has to do anything for me. I actually don't do anything for my client, my students and my clients. We are very clear on one thing. If you don't hold it, you don't own it.
You are responsible.
And the minute you give it to me, I'm going to say thank you and walk the hell away. Because that's your business and you have to learn how to manage it. Most of us think we grown because we out here, we got these jobs, these cars, and all of these contracts where you now owe somebody into infinity at rates that you can't even keep up with at work. And you think that and call that living. I don't care what car you drive. Talk to me about your payments. Talk to me about how many of those bills have income streams. Because if all your bills got one income stream and that's you gonna work till you die, until you figure it out. And that's what crypto was created for. Crypto was created as a way for you, me, and every other person on the planet to have a way out. But if you're going to stay with your head in the sand and you want to be scared and you want to worry about and say it's going to be okay, and if you think God is going to get you out of this, God bless you. Because God ain't here to bless no mess. He's here to work with your work. He is here to help and bless all that you move forward. And if he brought you to this space and you ignore him, you keep remembering you close that door. I remind folks, I'm doing this. I've been doing this for 5 years. This has been one because I woke up to my purpose. I woke up to a world that looked totally different with new information. Y'all woke up later and we've been saying it for how long? Y'all been hearing about crypto, blockchain, gold and silver. How many years? Think about how many years God has brought this into your space and you just kind of looked away. I got other things to do. I got my schedule. I don't got enough money. Well, let me tell you something. I told and taught my students, if you have been saving 10 cents a day for the last, 7 weeks we've been in class, 10 cents a day would have gave you damn near $5. And we saw a coin, and I tell you this right now, we did the math on a coin that was 0.4 zeros and a 6 that moved to 18 cents in a week. And I know people that came in for $1,000. Hell, I know that $5 we watch make $500,000. If they got in with their $5 from the the whole program was running for 4 weeks. If you got in at that number and you just put your $5 that you had saved, paid yourself first, 10 cents. If you did that, we did the math on it.
Go ahead.
I decided to get in when it was only 2 cents. Well, Miss Ruby did, because I knew what I was looking at. I knew it was a short program. I knew all the parameters around it. And I shared that. Just like I shared Shiba Inu when it was early. Just like we shared all the other coins we've been sharing and building in our community, because we built a community of progress, of performance. How many programs are you in that you've been in and you feel like you done paid, sat through, and you really ain't getting it? And these people ain't paying you no mind unless you get them more money. That's why P2G had to be created, because we are not just creating come get what you can get. It's a build together. It's a community. We are a movement. If you haven't figured out, the world has been moving against you a long time. This thing has been shifting the other way. And haven't y'all been feeling a little more shackled to your bills than you have anything free?
Shackled, and that's being nice.
I keep telling y'all, most of y'all jobs have turned into prisons. You can't even leave. You're gonna talk about, I'm gonna get another job. Most of y'all can't go nowhere, ain't nowhere to go. Most of y'all are out here working 2 and 3 gig jobs just to pull half of income. People living in the cold right now. And I'm in New York right now. I got folks that I've been reposting because we're trying to let people know that they are warming centers.
True indeed.
They're not just working poor, they're working homeless because they're living in their cars. They ain't got nowhere to go because you can't afford to be inside. If you ain't got family or someone who will help put you up, and then you're susceptible to them, when are you going to get control of your life? It starts with digital financial literacy. Digital financial literacy. And people go, I have people turn it off. Yeah, it's okay. You're still going to be homeless. You still going to be homeless, poor, working poor. There's no middle class anymore, my loves.
How long are you going to sit on that nail before you
get it? And we're here to help you get to that point. The classes have been open. Even though we're in session 10, the classes are open. Why? Because we have live sessions. We have video you can record. If you are a student, you have access to the whole university. Every class from class 1. Then every program, by the way, we're putting together and I'm really excited because we got a lot of AI stuff that's driving people crazy and integrated and watching your mail and even impersonating you in your own mail.
Oh, wow.
How about we stop that? So we have a masterclass on the 28th of February. I don't care what day the 28th comes up. The 28th of February this year and this is just it's a love giving. So therefore we ask for people to bless the platform. Go right ahead. Y'all can send it to the Cash App. Go and send it, because that's going to support new students coming in at 2025 prices.
Yep.
That's what that's going to be for. It literally will be the thing to help support the platform to keep going through, because we have to take care of us. I let folks know I don't get paid to sell you stuff. I get paid to make sure your life shifts. And I'm going to tell you, ain't a damn guarantee to anything I say. And I tell you this right now, because you are the anomaly. I can't control you. I can educate you if you let me. I can coach you if you are willing to move and run the plays that get you to what you want. But if you come in and you come sit for information you never use, you wasted your time, not mine. And what I tell my students all the time is the only grade you get is life. The only grade you get is your lifestyle, your bank account, your assets. When you see these things show up, y'all see this little, I'm holding up a silver coin, y'all. That's a silver coin. When you see these things, what do you call it, multiply? When you see little pieces of gold, small pieces, that's all we talking about. Little shifty pieces, little mini pieces. Because see,
one at a time.
You want to see the big stuff, right? But you can't have the big stuff because you're too cheap for the small stuff. You too broke for the small stuff. You think you got to jump in with the big. Let's go. I need the big gold. Gold is too expensive. No, it's not. You're too cheap to take care of you. 10 cents too much. Why do I say 10 cents, Mr. Thomas? Why am I saying 10 cents?
Because it's a mindset. It's pennies that get you to where you want to get to the goal that you're looking to get to. You got to start in small increments.
That's what P2G stands for. It's pennies to gold. And we are not joking. We show you what the market is doing. We show you how these banks are making money off your little bit of money. Oh, I don't make no money. I don't hardly got no money in the bank. Baby, they turn that into 10 times twice over already. You put 25 in, they got 2,000. They got a $2,000 loan at 26.9%. What you doing? You don't even know how to do that math. That's third grade math, y'all.
And they don't even mind. They're like, okay, they don't know.
Now, if you're not too proud to say you don't know math and willing to learn, come to class. Because we there teaching all day long. We make math a habit in your life. I make people love math. You know why? Because now it's on your side. Now you remember going to class and your favorite friend. Remember that friend y'all was in third grade? Y'all had fun. Y'all used to hang out, do the hair and the whole nine. Y'all have the same jeans. Y'all ride bikes in the whole nine. I'm trying to tell you something. We call back time in class. You know why? Because most of us don't realize you're actually using the stuff you were trained to do over time in school. So now school made sense. Education, that whole system made sense. And it's not just a prison. It wasn't just a prison or training for prisons. It was the foundation of you becoming not only free, but everything you got, you can now call on.
This is true.
People are calling on third grade education. Moments that were fleeting and slipped by. And now it's your today. It's making a difference in your life because most of y'all don't make math. You don't connect math with money. And that's crazy. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Don't worry, because I was the same way. When I went back to school in my 40s, I went back to college and I think I was like 40. Went back. My math teacher said the same thing because most of the university of new students were failing algebra. You know what I'm saying? Failing the thing that gets you in the door to your other actual classes. Did you know that we made me realize one thing? Statistically, there was a problem they weren't dealing with. I was so grateful our math department figured that out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to BMCC. You know what I'm saying? Bourbon Manhattan College, a community college. Because the math department figured out how to get us all, not just to get us over, but get it in our heads and make it work. We got there hating math. We left there loving math and math being a part of our lives and understanding the community, understanding the world around us because we knew that the data, we were prepared for the data being the money. You're muted, baby. I see you trying to talk.
No, but it's like, when they combined the class to make it that way, they shifted the mindset around it, and you realize these are the things that you need. That most of the time you have to get all the way to economics 101 in your class, and you had to be a mathematician before they told you this stuff to you.
And on top of that, economics 101, I hate to tell you, it's limited. Economics 101, economics in general. Most economists they're clueless.
There.
I have tried my best, and it never fails. I stopped talking to them. They start talking. They started calling on me. These people who are in economic, different financial businesses and all of this. I told y'all, I think I shared this with you. I got catfished into a Primerica meeting. I got catfished to a Primerica meeting. Guy said, I've been watching you online. And so invited me for collaboration. I was interested in what you're up to. I was at the time teaching people to save in gold and teaching them about crypto and, literally growing small amounts of your financials through crypto so you can buy physical gold and silver. Yep. Oh, this just would not do. I could not be this popular online for this man. So he wanted to meet me. And I get to his office, or his so-called office, which is in a share space. Awesome. I love the space and lots of good energy. And I'm sitting there and I'm being introduced to a presentation of Primerica. And I'm thinking, what? Excuse me? Now, mind you, Primerica, it happens to be a financial program of insurances and small investments being introduced to low-income area people, different financial products, also some security products included. Now, while I am telling you this, and I'm never, ever going to speak down another business, I learned from experience that is not what I want to do with my life. That is not the road that I am going with teaching people about financials. When it comes to paper promise products that are controlled by others, we are not in the same conversation. What I could not get this man to understand, one, was shocking, was that at the time, it had to be about 2019, this older gentleman selling financial product did not know that the dollar was not backed by gold.
Yep.
And had not been since 71, pretty much. And his co-workers, his cohort, other affiliates that came in to talk to me, and they were doing their spiel, had to shut him up because they all knew he was inaccurate. These are younger dudes. It's the older dude in the house. And he didn't know that the dollar has not been backed by gold. Because he said,
a very long time.
I don't think this is going to work in Harlem. And, and I think, the whole idea is that people, how do you spend gold? How do you buy food? How do you buy food with a 401k? How do you buy food with an insurance policy? Where are you getting the money for that? In order to pay your insurance, you're going to have an income.
Yep.
Most of y'all ain't saving. So how many of y'all got a life insurance policy? Because most of you don't know how to generate more money. Because all you know and all being taught was how to work. So his idea was to get me to sell his product. And I'm like, that's not what I'm teaching. See, because we as a community have to be taught to build, to get assets that earn value to help us cover life going forward. Not work more jobs, pay more higher taxes, and work till we die. Oh, don't forget giving away your actual power, which is your capital, to a third-party company to make you money so people like him can get a commission. Mm. He gets his this man gets regularly paid by getting you to sign on to a third party controlling assets that they don't have any control over.
Nope.
And absolutely no guarantee.
And he can't do nothing for you once they get your money.
By the way, when they make losses, you take on the liability, and they still get their fee. Just to let you know something, if you are still in paper promises, that is great. It is not great if that's all you have. If your entire portfolio actually exists in someone else's custody, you are done right now. And if you don't start shifting some to your physical self to control and learn how to build and actually manipulate for yourself out in markets that are available to you, then baby, everything you own is in somebody else's hand. You ain't even an adult, you got a daddy.
See, we just said it earlier. The banks are calling for custody. all the hedge, not the hedge fund, that's not the hedge fund. All the CMEs or the mercantile exchanges are all saying we will not back any margins unless you have a minimum of 80 to 85% capital on hand to cover anything we cover for you.
Now, where do they get the capital?
They
get that capital. So you got to put gold and silver on the books. And guess what? You guys are up for it. It's called bail-in.
Yep.
To stop them from going under, there are new rules. Look it up. Don't believe a word I say. I told you, do your homework. It's simple as that. And let me explain something to you. If you're not paying attention to what's happening where you are in the world in the financial area, then you really are not concerned with giving your money away at a possible loss. You're not concerned with the possibility that the doors can close, okay, in front of you. Or when you wake up in the morning, that one day, you're not worried about it. You don't mind. And I'm letting you know it's okay. It's not a happy place to be, but it's okay. As long as it's okay with you, it's okay with me. And the banks, it's really okay with them.
It happened in Cyprus.
I don't, I'm hate to say this, but I've had students that have taken on serious liability and they've taken on serious scams. You know why? While doing our class has taken on scams. You know what they didn't do?
Do the research.
They didn't do the research. They didn't actually follow the instructions of the class. And my question is what can you do when you're in a community of knowledge?
Ask questions. Come on.
You make a decision. One woman came to me and said, Miss Ruby, I think I need some help. And I said, okay, what's going on? She goes, I think I lost $30,000. I said, what do you mean you lost? How do you lose? So I'm thinking she's talking about crypto. She's not. She's talking about a scam. She got scammed for $30,000 trying to make a quick come up in a program. Okay, a program that sounded really good, but in the end, it didn't have the backing or a financial system to support what they were saying they paid out. So I teach my students to find out what the use case of a company is. Also, to look them up to find out who's backing them, and not the people that they say, not the celebrities that they may hire. Does that make sense?
Celebrities are a paycheck. They get paid for talking about these things.
Not all celebrities are investors. Remember that. And the other thing I want you to know is, if it seems too good to be true, it most likely is. Now, we say all of this to say, this program that you're on here is to educate you, inform. But we don't do class in our show.
No.
We give you information. Where we do class is class. And we also have, like I said, Wednesday evenings. After we do Work It Out Wednesday, we have our guest on, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to kid you. We're about to get it popping. Mr. Thomas, I don't have my book up. I need to get my book up. I'm so used to reading it. Our sister Z, I'm trying to tell y'all don't understand. We have a sister coming on from Podcast Babes. You guys know last year we wrote a book. If anybody remember, I wrote a book with about 26 other women, beautiful women, who have amazing lives to share and offer. Just so much. I'm trying to tell y'all, life is good. Life is really good. And this sister right here is going to be on my brother's birthday. And Miss Wanda's birthday. We got Aquariuses in the house. And on that day, we get to celebrate this beautiful sister, Miss Z, was what we call her. And she's going to share with you not just a part of what she's one of the writers of the book, but her organization, which she's the founder of, Inspire and Ignite Her. Now, while most men will listen to the word her and think it's all about the women, remember, she is made and formed by many he's. All women are formed by a world of other women and men. So when you're listening to a woman talk about her experience, See yourself in that. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not all about talking down, talking about the bad relationships. It's about really talking about personal growth and what we all can get. And I want my gentlemen to be on this. I mean, I need y'all in the house. When these sisters talk to you, we're talking to a spirit that we all are. Some of us think that we're so different because we're so separate because you're a man, that's a woman, this or that. No, you are first a human being. And you deserve to be loved, appreciated, respected, big up, the whole nine, every bit of it. So when you step in, you listen to one human being, see your sister, see your mother, see your lover, see your child, and see yourself. My thing is, we talk about what is called the divine feminine. Sorry, baby, I didn't mean to bring you off. We talk about the divine feminine. That's universal. Be your divine feminine. Be your divine masculine. But be that for the women and the men in your life, because that's who you were made to be. Uniformly. Yes. So I just got to give some love. And I got to say something. I got a little something for y'all. Because I'm going to Kiyosaki in, and this brother says it the best. Let me just put it up. All right. Play the short. Okay, play the short. It's my favorite. All right.
Silver, the physical. The other thing I recommend to people is buy gold, silver, the physical, not the ETF shit. Mm-hmm. Because the moment you have gold and silver, there's no counterparty risk. That means there's nobody owns it but you. Mm-hmm. When you have a stock, the counterparty is the CEO of the company and the team and all this. I don't trust them. Right. So I want to own gold and silver because God is a counterparty. Mm-hmm. I would say gold and silver are God's money. I'd say Bitcoin is people's money. Yes. Okay. Who's the counterparty there? People. Right. Okay. The network.
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. And you can't say it better than that. We got to stop giving everybody. Y'all talking about, that's a powerful multi-billionaire right there. That man has always kept it physical. Always. And he don't play. Gold. And he goes from cash he takes his cash. He said, I turn dirty cash into debt into gold and silver, then assets. So cash, debt, assets, that's debt, assets, gold and silver consistently. And he's learned how to move through. Now it's your turn. You need to start stacking, and you need to start stacking fast. You do not need 100% ounce of gold. You can get a little silver for a couple of dollars. You need to get a smaller piece, get a smaller piece. Get a smaller piece than that, get a smaller piece. But stack. Because if you ain't stacking for your life and your family and your own self, I don't care if you got kids, anybody else in your life, you need these in your life. Yep. This is called the gold back. It's the smallest portion of gold you can own for yourself. And if you don't know what the heck this is, something simple as this and cheap as this, then you don't understand the power of your dollars in your pocket until they become something else. And so for those who are like, that's boring. No problem. I'll stay boring and I'll stay alive. Because you know what?
Wealthy it should be boring.
I would rather have boring wealth than exciting poverty. I really would.
Look, lines are not funny.
Well, sweetie, with that being said, we are at the top of our hour.
Yes, indeed.
And we want you to be with us. You're interested in starting the classes, go to p2gnetworks.com. We have our classes are already going on. You pay for your monthly membership, which, by the way, is still running at the 2025. Only for February, because it's my birthday month. There's everybody running for 2025 rates. 2026 rates start in March.
Yep.
As soon as our class is done with, the new class will come in, and all those who are in the March monthly, you'll be a part of the new class along with the old class. You get all the goodies, you get to pay the parties and everything. We are moving into the entire world of the digital assets, including NFTs and making. I tell people all the time, I can't wait to do NFTs because people have not, literally, I look at NFTs like printing money. And people go, NFTs are dead. No, they're the new money, baby. They're the
It's like having a Mona Lisa in your own name. Come on now, you know that.
Y'all, what y'all don't know is called tokenized assets. It's tokenized, physical tokenization. That's really what an NFT has always been. So guess what? We teach how to do that. All in one monthly. That's what I'm talking about. So hurry up, get your membership, hop on, get to class. Let's go. Let's we know you down, and let's play it. Let's play at life together. I'm really excited. Mr. Thomas, give him some love. And don't, wait. Miss Shelby, where you been? Miss Shelby.
Is she in the spot?
She is in the spot.
Right. Right.
Go ahead. Let us speak, baby.
How are y'all?
Awesome. It's good to see your pretty avatar.
Oh yeah, her hair's not as white as mine now though.
Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna have to catch a picture of that. Look, Miss Shelby, you want to give him some love for this Mental Wellness Monday? I know you got a little something for the fam.
Yep, just make sure that you, no matter how things seem around you in life, just if you keep a positive attitude, things will start to shift. You just can't give into the lower vibrational thoughts.
That's right. Don't let them. And I want to say thank you so much for reaching out and putting up stuff to let folks know where you are so we can reach out and know that we need to take care of our family. Let me tell you something. You want folks to be fam, you got to be fam. You got to show up. And when you show up, you give people a chance to show out. And I'm going to let you know, it doesn't always happen that way. But when you show up, that means you want to give the world a chance. So something's going to show up for you. It's always.
Yes, indeed.
And with that, I love you, sis. We're going to be on the phone, chick. We're going to get on and do this thing. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been on Clapper, on Stereo. I got my Ma Allen in the house. I got my huggy.
Allen.
But in the house. Yes, I love it. My sister Shelby. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. I see you. Go ahead.
I was going to say Goobaloo was on earlier.
I was about to give some love. I saw Goobaloo. I checked it out. The brother Goobaloo, that's our brother from another mother on the other side of the waters. He is in Canada, and he is definitely one of our crypto enthusiasts who is into economy. We're letting folks know, don't play games. I don't care where you are. You have to learn that how the world works, not just where you live. If you really want to understand how to get out and shift, you have to leave the mindset of where you live to understand the world around you. Because
yes, indeed.
That's what's changing where you live, and get that. So let's take a little time and we're going to rock out. Y'all ready to get a little dance on?
Get it.
Oh. Come on. Make sure you get on Wednesday and check out this video.
It's breakfast with the timelesses, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday, work it out Wednesday, pay forward Friday.
I told you sometimes we don't think.
Digital finance,
So bad.
love, serving food, what goes to rising as the beat and Eastern on P2G TV.
Let's go.
Breakfast with the time.